If this story moved your heart, we'd love to know, where in the world are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below, and let's see how far our stories are reaching. Your thoughts truly matter here. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because tomorrow, a brand new love story is coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss this one. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you in the next chapter of our storytelling journey. Emily had always imagined this moment differently. At 26, she never thought she'd be walking into the delivery room without someone holding her hand. It was a rainy Thursday morning in early October, and the air outside the small-town hospital in rural Texas felt heavier than usual. She clutched her belly as another contraction surged through her, sharp and fast like lightning. 39 weeks pregnant, and now, it was time. The baby wasn't waiting any longer. The nurses rushed to her side the moment she walked through the emergency room doors. Deep breaths, one of them said gently, guiding her toward a wheelchair. Emily nodded, trying her best to stay calm, but her heart was racing. Not just from the pain, but from the loneliness. She had practiced breathing techniques, packed her hospital bag 2 weeks ago, even downloaded calming playlists on her phone. But none of it could prepare her for what it felt like to be doing this alone. As she was wheeled down the corridor, the fluorescent lights above flickered softly, one by one, like a countdown. Her mind began to drift, memories flooding back of Jack, the father of her baby, the man who once said he'd never leave. But life happened, and promises faded. He left town nearly 5 months ago. They hadn't spoken since. Back then, she thought he'd come around. That maybe, after some space, he'd return with a change of heart. But weeks turned into months. Messages went unanswered. Her pride wouldn't let her beg. And now, here she was, about to become a mother, completely on her own. The delivery room smelled like sterile cotton and antiseptic. A nurse helped her into the hospital gown while another started prepping the four. Emily gripped the edge of the bed, her knuckles white from the pressure. The contractions were now 5 minutes apart. "You're doing great," the nurse encouraged. Emily gave a tight smile, trying to believe it. Every sound felt amplified, the beep of the heart monitor, the shuffle of medical shoes, the soft hum of machines that were about to witness the most life-changing moment of her life. The doctor came in, checked her vitals, and gave a nod. "You're progressing well, Emily. We'll be ready soon." She exhaled slowly, staring at the ceiling. "I'm ready," she whispered, more to herself than anyone else, but deep down, a part of her wasn't. A part of her still wished, against all logic, that Jack would walk through those hospital doors. That somehow, he knew this was happening. That even if things had fallen apart, he'd show up just for this moment. Just to see his daughter born. But that was just wishful thinking, wasn't it? Emily gritted her teeth as another contraction hit. It was stronger this time, deep and consuming. Her fingers clutched the bed rails, and a low cry escaped her lips. The nurse leaned in, gently pressing a cool cloth to her forehead. "You're doing great, Emily. Just a little longer now." But time felt strange, both frozen and racing. She blinked through the pain, her eyes scanning the room again, almost instinctively. She wasn't sure what she was looking for. Maybe hope. Maybe closure. Maybe someone who had already let her down too many times. The doctor stepped in. "We're almost at full dilation," he said calmly. "Let's start prepping for delivery." And then, just as the nurses turned toward the equipment cart, the door creaked open. Emily didn't look right away. She figured it was another nurse or maybe someone from the NICU team. But then she heard it, a voice she hadn't heard in 5 long months. "Emily." Her head snapped toward the doorway. There he was. Jack, soaked from the rain, his flannel shirt clinging to his frame, jeans damp, hair a mess, but it was him. Eyes wide, chest heaving like he'd just run miles. Maybe he had, for a moment. Emily forgot the pain. Forgot she was in labor. Forgot she'd spent countless nights crying over this very man. Her heart leapt into her throat. What are you doing here?" Her voice was barely above a whisper. Jack stepped in slowly, hesitant, as if unsure she wouldn't throw something at him. I found out. I had to come. I drove all night." The room was quiet except for the monitor beeping and Emily's uneven breath. The doctor looked between them, raising an eyebrow, then nodded to the nurse. "Let's give them a moment. We've got a few minutes before she starts pushing." The medical staff exited the room. Emily turned her face away, blinking hard. "You don't get to just show up now. Not like this." "I know," Jack said, voice shaking. "I know I screwed up. But I never stopped thinking about you, about her." Her eyes locked on his. "You left," she said. "You disappeared. No calls. No answers. I begged myself not to care anymore. I didn't know if I had the right to come back," he admitted. "But when I heard that it was happening today, I couldn't stay away." Emily sat up slightly, wincing. "How did you even know?" Your sister texted me, Jack said. Said you were in labor. I packed a bag and drove straight here. I didn't stop. I couldn't. For a second, neither spoke. Then Emily felt another contraction, sharp and urgent. She winced. Well, if you're going to be here, stand where I can grab your hand. Jack moved to her side instantly, and as she reached for him, she whispered, Don't you dare leave again. I won't, he said, voice steady now. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. And for the first time in months, despite the pain and the chaos, Emily believed him. Emily's grip on Jack's hand tightened as another contraction tore through her. She cried out, her head tilting back as sweat beaded on her forehead. Jack steadied her, his free hand brushing the hair from her face. You're almost there, he whispered, trying to sound calm, but inside, he was crumbling. The doctor returned. With the nurses. All right, Mom, it's time. Let's bring this baby into the world. Emily gave a shaky nod. Jack glanced at the monitors, the sterile instruments, the fast-moving medical staff, but his focus never drifted from her. He had never felt more useless. Or more needed. Push, the doctor said, and Emily screamed. Between the cries, her voice broke. Where were you, Jack? Why didn't you call? Why did you leave me to go through all of this alone? Jack opened his mouth, but the words didn't come right away. What could he say that wouldn't sound hollow under the weight of her pain? Another push. Another scream. And again, she asked, this time with more desperation than anger, Why, Jack? I was scared, he finally admitted, his voice cracking under the pressure of truth. I got overwhelmed. You were so sure of everything, and I wasn't. I didn't think I was good enough to be a father. Emily squeezed her eyes shut, a tear slipping out, mixing with the sweat on her cheek. So you ran, she spat between labored breaths. You just ran and left me with everything? I didn't mean to leave forever, Jack said, leaning in. My dad got sick. Real sick. Stage 4. I flew to Ohio the next day. I was going to tell you, I just couldn't find the right time. Another contraction. Another cry. But now the pain wasn't just physical. You could have texted. Called. Anything, she said through clenched teeth. I know, Emily. I messed up. But I've been following everything from a distance. I even saw your baby registry. I sent things anonymously. Diapers, bottles. The rocking chair, that was me. Emily stared at him, shocked. That chair? He nodded. I wanted to be part of it, even if I didn't know how. The doctor interrupted, voice firm. Emily, focus. One more big push. She turned her eyes back to Jack. This better be the last thing you ever walk away from. Jack leaned close, forehead nearly touching hers. I swear, I'm here now. All in. For you. For her. With a primal cry, Emily pushed one final time. Then silence, and suddenly, a baby's cry filled the room. The nurses moved quickly, wiping down the tiny newborn before placing her gently on Emily's chest. Tears streamed down her face, of exhaustion, relief, and something more complicated. Jack looked down at the little girl, his daughter, for the first time. And in that moment, with his hand still in Emily's, everything inside him shifted. The past couldn't be erased, but maybe, just maybe, redemption had finally begun. The room had fallen quiet, except for the soft, steady breathing of the newborn. Resting on Emily's chest. Her tiny fingers curled instinctively, brushing against Emily's hospital gown. The doctor gave a final nod of approval, then stepped back to let the moment belong to the family. One by one, the nurses slipped out, leaving behind a hush that felt sacred. Emily stared down at her daughter, her chest rising and falling in uneven rhythm. Her hair clung to her forehead, her body exhausted, but her heart was trying to make sense of everything. Jack stood beside her, hands trembling slightly. He had seen miracles before, but nothing like this. He opened his mouth to speak, but the weight of the moment stole his breath. She's beautiful, he finally said, his voice rough. Just like her mom. Emily didn't answer at first. Her eyes stayed locked on the baby, as if afraid this moment might vanish if she looked away. I don't know what to feel right now, she whispered. Part of me wants to scream at you, and the other part wants to believe this is real. Jack sank into the chair beside the bed, his elbows on his knees, shoulders hunched. It is real, he said. And I deserve every bit of your anger. I've replayed that night 1,000 times in my head, the night I left. I thought I was doing the right thing. I thought stepping back would make your life easier. Emily turned to him slowly. Her eyes were tired but sharp. Abandoning. Someone doesn't make life easier, Jack. It makes it colder. He swallowed hard. You're right. I didn't get it then. But I do now. Watching you go through this, seeing her born, it changed everything. I've never felt anything like it. I can't go back and fix what I broke, but I can promise you this, I'm not walking away again. She studied his face, every regret etched into the lines around his eyes, every word laced with fear and hope. Words are easy, she said quietly. Jack reached into his jacket and pulled something out, an old, folded sonogram photo. I've had this in my wallet since the day you gave it to me, he said. It's creased and worn, but I looked at it every day. I was just too scared to face what came with it. Her breath caught in her throat. I love you, Emily, he continued, eyes never leaving hers. And I love her. I don't care if you don't forgive me right away. I just want the chance to earn your trust back. Tears brimmed in Emily's eyes, but she blinked them away. Then start by holding your daughter, she said softly. Jack stood slowly, his hands shaking as he reached out. Emily carefully placed the baby in his arms. His breath hitched as he looked into his daughter's tiny face, so perfect, so real. In that moment, surrounded by the hum of machines and the scent of new life, he whispered, I'm sorry. I'm here. I'm all in. And Emily, just for a second, let herself believe it might be true. The weight of the baby in Jack's arms was unlike anything he'd ever felt. It wasn't just her size, just over 7 pounds of soft, warm new life. It was what she represented. Everything he'd run from. Everything he now wanted more than anything to protect. Her eyelids fluttered as she settled against his chest, and Jack froze, afraid even his breath might disturb her peace. Emily watched from the bed, her eyes sharp but softening. The exhaustion of labor still clung to her, but something else had taken its place, an unfamiliar calm. Maybe it was adrenaline. Maybe it was hope. Maybe it was both. She looks like you, Jack whispered, still staring at the baby. Same nose. Same little chin. Emily gave a faint smile. Let's hope she gets my common sense. He chuckled, a real laugh, small and raw. Fair enough. A quiet moment passed between them. No shouting. No accusations. Just breathing. Jack finally broke the silence. I meant what I said, Emily. I'm not going anywhere. I don't expect forgiveness overnight, but I want to be here. Every day. Diaper changes, midnight feedings, doctor visits, all of it. I want to learn how to be her dad, and I want to show you I can be better. Emily looked at him, not as the man who left, but as the one who showed up, when it counted most. He was still flawed, still uncertain, but maybe that was okay. So was she. None of this would be perfect. She leaned back against the pillow, exhaling slowly. You know, the night you left. I hated you. I hated you for taking my future and walking away like it didn't matter. Jack's jaw tensed, but when I saw you walk into that delivery room, she continued, voice quiet but steady, I hated you a little less. He looked at her, eyes wide, and when you held her, like she was everything that ever mattered to you. I didn't hate you at all. The words hung in the air, delicate but powerful. Doesn't mean I trust you yet, she added quickly. Raising an eyebrow. Fair, he said with a small nod. But I'll earn it. However long it takes. She motioned for him to sit beside her. He carefully brought the baby over, placing her gently between them. The three of them, so new, so fragile, formed something that almost resembled a family. Outside, the rain had stopped. Sunlight peeked through the clouds, painting gold across the hospital window. A quiet symbol, maybe. Or a promise. Emily looked at Jack. We name her together. That's non-negotiable. Jack grinned. Agreed. Their fingers touched, just briefly, as they reached for the baby's tiny hand. And in that moment, no one spoke. There was no need, because sometimes, beginnings don't come with fireworks or perfect timing. Sometimes, they start in a hospital room, with broken people holding something whole, and for the first time in a long time, they believe tomorrow might actually be better. We know this story may have touched something deep inside you, because it sure touched us while telling it. Emily and Jack's journey wasn't perfect, but it was real. And now, we want to hear from you. What part of their story moved you the most? Do you believe people deserve second chances after walking away? Or do you think some wounds cut too deep to heal? Drop your thoughts in the comments, don't hold back. Whether you're a romantic at heart or a skeptic of love's return, your voice matters here. And while you're at it, tell us where in the world you're watching from. We're building a global storytelling community, and seeing your city or country lights up our day. And if this story made you feel something, anything at all, consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the notification bell. We've got another powerful story dropping tomorrow, and you won't want to miss it. So go ahead, scroll down, type a few words, and join the conversation. Because love, heartbreak, and redemption aren't just stories, they're real experiences we all share.